Hello, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to another session of Tech Tips Live. My name is Shelley Troyer, and this is the 7th week of the Tech Tips Live series, the series where we meet weekly to share information on new ways to incorporate technology into your daily workflow. Like I said, this series is weekly and will be live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. So stay tuned to stay on top of technology here at K-State. If you can't join us live every week, we are recording these sessions, and they will be found on our website. I'll switch over there. So our website is shown here. So if you've missed any of our past sessions, you can find the recording here. A few housekeeping items. Once again, I have muted everybody's microphones. So if you do have any questions, you feel free to open up the chat box and send those in at any time. At the end, we'll open it up for questions, and I can either read the questions that you've sent in over the chat to our presenters, or feel free to unmute your microphone and go ahead and ask the question live. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to today's presenters, Rebecca Gould and Kathy Rodriguez, who are here to talk about Qualtrics. So Rebecca, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Shelley. Let me open up my screen. Welcome, everybody. Can everybody see my screen and hear me?
Yep, we can see and hear you just fine, and we can see your screen.
Good. Okay. So to access Qualtrics, K-Staters go to kstate.qualtrics.com and sign in with your EID and password. And remember, there's no hyphen in the K-State. I'm going to just show you some basics about Qualtrics, creating questions and distributing the survey and results, and then Kathy will go into some more higher level logic type issues. So I have already created a survey, so I went in to simply create a survey, click the button, and began creating. I'm going to show you how to add some questions. So I have a test survey for today, and at the bottom of the test survey, or anywhere that there's a space, pardon me, I've got to fix a few things. So at the bottom, there's this bar here that says create a new question. So the bar is here, and it also, once you hit the drop-down menu, let me show you. Once you hit the drop-down menu, you can go in and select the question type you want to choose. So the bar is here, and it's also on the right-hand side. Typically, the default is the multiple choice question. So let me just post in a multiple choice question. How satisfied are you with Qualtrics? And if I click here, you can see I could add 3 choices, I could add 4 choices, 5 choices, etc. But what I want to do, since it's a satisfaction question, is I'm going to ask for automatic choices. And agree and disagree don't work, but satisfaction does. So I just click that, and the automatic choices are populated in the bar. I don't want 7, I really just want 5. And so, sorry, I'm going to hit the minus button. And I have 5 choices from extremely satisfied to extremely dissatisfied. So that shows you creating a multiple choice question with automatic choices. Now I want to go in and I want to create just a text entry question. And I'm going to just select text entry so you can see that it appears. How simple can it get? And I'm just going to ask, list your favorite feature in Qualtrics. Oops. Please try this at home. You can see when I do this that what changes over here on the right-hand side are the options for this type of question in particular. I can do it single line, and I can tell you that in most of the evaluation forms I look at, they make a mistake of only using single line when multiple line or essay box would be more appropriate. So I'm going to leave it at essay box. And the other thing I'm going to do that people ask me about all the time is there a maximum character length or a character range? And I could put minimum and maximum, but instead I'm just going to say 500 characters, which is a really good option. So I'm going to set that, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to create one more question. And the reason I show you, you can see the default is multiple choice, but that's not what I want. So I want to go over here and I want to change it to descriptive text. And the reason I'm changing it to descriptive text is this will be the entree to the survey. In other words, welcome to the Qualtrics survey. Please take a few minutes to provide your responses. Now, this is a text, and you can see I spelled it wrong, so I'll fix it. Now, this is a text entry question, so there's a rich content editor. I can highlight this, and I can change the size to, say, 16-point italics. I can color it, etc. Then the other thing I want to do right here from the rich content editor is I want to add a graphic. And what Kathy and I have learned over the last couple of weeks is have your have the graphic you want to use in the format you want to use already created. And we'll talk about size at the end of this. You can see I don't have it in the right place, so I'm going to rethink that. Oops. And I'm going to move it. I think I'm going to move it, and I can put it in a different place. And really it's up to you about the size and where you want to place it, etc. So that's how to add media. And Kathy's going to show you in a little bit how to add video. Then the other thing is, since this is the description to the survey, it's in the wrong place. So over here, I just click the arrow, and I go all the way up to the top. And here's my description for the survey. Of course, I can make it better than that, but that provides me not only the welcome and the introduction, but also a graphic. Now, to distribute the survey, I'm going to click here, or options for the survey, I'm going to click here, and it offers some suggestions in terms of the overall survey. I could put a back button if I wanted. People tend to like back buttons. I could allow people to save and continue later. That's always a nice feature. I could highlight the progress bar and put a progress bar in. A couple of other things I want to show you is prevent ballot box stuffing. So you can click this box so people can't take the survey more than once. And somebody asked me recently about survey expiration and how long it typically would last. So I can keep it open for as long as I want just by clicking the survey expiration tab. I can also have a custom, I can use the default if I want, but I could have a custom end to the survey message. I'm going to save any changes I made. And next from here, I'm going to go on to distribute the survey. From here, there's two options that I could do to actually distribute the survey to the respondents. Here, if I click this button, it activates the survey and it gives me a URL. And I'm ready to go with this URL to post in an email, to post on a web page, to post in social media, wherever you want to post it. So that is one way for respondents to provide anonymous feedback on your survey. Another way is right here from the email survey link. So I click that and a template for an email falls out. And from here, I can create my own simple panel. And in interest of time, I'm just going to put email addresses. Oops, hopefully it goes to them. Okay, I can put their names too, but I'm not going to do that because of the time constraints. And I'm going to give it a subject line, test survey. And if I was doing this to send out, I would put in some kind of email message. Typically, it would be the same as the description text. And then what Qualtrics does is it already has embedded the link and the URL and the opt-out URL. And then I just say something like, sincerely, Rebecca Gould. And I would send a test email. I highly recommend sending a test, but first I have to save it. And I'm going to just save test survey and save. And then it gives me the option to send it. And it will appear in my webmail folder, and I can test to see that the link works, that the message is spelled correctly, etc. Then over here, I can schedule the mailing. I can send it in an hour. Sometimes I wait and I say 8 hours, so it gives me time to really think about it and look at the email, etc. And then I schedule the mailing. So in 8 hours, this will go to Shalyn and Kathy and myself. And then what pops up is you can see what the status is for the mailing, and that link is right here. And you can see that in 7 hours and 59 minutes, that test survey is going to go out. Now, for the results section, there are two areas you can look. You can look at the view results, or you can look at the reporting function. And the best way to explain the difference between the two is the reporting function allows you to more customize the reports. And what Qualtrics will say is make it look pretty. I'm just going to show the view results from here. And right now, I don't have any, so I'm going to go into a survey where I have some results. And I'm going to show you that. And that's in my event management software. And from my dashboard, I'll click on results, or I could have done it from here, view results. And I can look at my initial report, or I can create a new report. And on the left-hand side, the questions in my survey appear. I can move those. I can move them down, move them up. I can hide them. If some values don't make sense, for example, in this question, how many events does the software manage per year? If that 1 to 6 didn't make sense, I could hide that and get rid of that feature. The other thing I can do over here is I can add a graph. And that graph, there are options you can see across the top to change the look and feel of the graph. And from here, I can export the graph, and I can export it to Word, Microsoft, PowerPoint, or PDF. And I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to show you these. I'll go down a few so you can see them. The other thing from this feature is there is a public report feature. Say you want to show it to people who you sent the survey out to, you can toggle the on feature, and a URL appears. And there's this URL, and I can copy and paste this URL. I can create an email from here, and I can send this out to provide a public report. Other features that include in the report are there's a Word option, there's a PowerPoint option, there's an Excel, and a PDF. So there's a lot of options here. Another cool feature that I want to show you in terms of responses are you can see from the response link is you can see the response IDs, you can see what their IP address is, kind of their response type, but there's a cool feature over here, advanced options, and I can generate test responses. So if I was just testing out what this would look like from the back end, I could click this and I could generate, say, 5 to 10 responses. I could start the test, and 5 responses. It's all gibberish, but at least I could see what it looks like on the back end. And I can also delete all those, and from here I can delete all responses if I want to, but I'm not going to do that right now. The other feature that I'll show you is here to download data. The data comes in many forms. It could be a comma-separated value file or a CSV, analyze for SPSS, and there are other features down here. And all I need to do is click on this, and the data will download, and it will download over here. And pardon me, let me move this out of the way, and I can click this, and you can see the event management software, and it downloads to a CSV file. And a lot of these columns I don't care about, but I could see each question answered via each column, and I can look down and check it out that way. The one other feature I want to show you is that has that people ask us about all the time is the collaborate feature. Pardon me. And right here I can collaborate. And if I want to collaborate, I can just put in Kathy's name. And because she's already loaded, I'm going to click her here, and I'm going to add her. And then I can send her a test email, and then I can determine what features I want to allow her to see as a collaborator. And I click there. I'm going to turn it over to Kathy, who's going to talk about some other features in Qualtrics.
Kathy, if you're still with us, I think your microphone is still muted.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. It switched to the window on me. Okay, so I'm going to talk about logic that you can add to questions. So the first type of logic I will talk about is called skip logic. And what that allows you to do is just to, based on how a participant answers a question, allows you to skip to a different part of the survey. So for example, on this first question here, if they answer no to this question, I'm going to have them exit the survey because they didn't attend the trainings and they couldn't therefore evaluate the training. So click this down arrow, and then we're going to click Add Skip Logic. And then if they answer no to this question, then I want them to skip to the end of the survey. So I'm going to go ahead and click End of the Survey, and then click Done. And I'll show you how this looks on the participant side in a second. The other type of logic I'm going to talk about is called display logic. And what this does is allows a question to be displayed based on how they answer a question. So for example here, do you plan to use Qualtrics? If they say no, I don't want them to see this next question. If they say yes, I want them to be able to see it. So we're going to go to this question, click Add Display Logic. And on question 3, if they answer yes, I want this to display. So then we're going to click Save. I'm going to go up and preview this so you can see what it looks like. So if they answer no to this, it's going to take them to the end of the survey. I'm going to go ahead and restart this preview and say yes here. Do you plan to use Qualtrics? If I say yes, then they see this question, insert how you plan to use Qualtrics. And I'll restart this one more time. And if they say no, then you'll notice that question doesn't get displayed for them. So that's the skip and display logic. Next thing I want to look at is libraries. So I'm going to go over here to library. And your library lets you store your surveys, questions, files, messages, graphics, any of those kinds of things. But what I want to look at is the survey library. And you actually have your own personal library. So if you want to create templates, survey templates, you can go ahead and do that. And you can also have access to the global Qualtrics library. So you're going to go ahead and select that. So you can see all the different surveys that they have for you to choose from. And so you can just scroll down, and if you find one that you think you'd be interested in, you can just click View to see what kinds of questions are in that survey and see if it matches your needs. If it does, you can simply copy that survey. So then you'll click Copy. And then you need to tell it where you want to copy it to. So to your main account, which is your main survey page, or to your library. I'm just going to go ahead and put my account and then click Copy. Now if I go back up here to my surveys, I'm going to go ahead and refresh my screen here. And then here you have this business knowledge management survey. Okay, another thing that you can do in Qualtrics is create forms. So I'm going to go ahead and go over how to do that. So I'm going to go up here and click Create Survey. So you notice you have 3 options here: Quick Survey Builder, Create from Copy, or the Survey Library. So I'm just going to go, I already showed you the Survey Library. I'm going to just do Quick Survey Builder, give it a name. and then click Create Survey. And then the first thing I'm probably going to do is put a descriptive text question in here. And this will I'll just put information about what this registration form is for. So let's just say it was called and you would just put whatever information you want in about, date, time, anything you want them to know about your event. And then another thing that you can do is add video. So I'm going to go into the rich content editor and then click on this insert video button. And then I have a YouTube video up already. I'm just going to copy that URL. And then I'm going to paste it in here. And then I'm going to click insert and then click outside of that question. I need to readjust my text there, but you get the general idea. And then we'll get into the actual form part of it. So I'm going to do a text entry question. And then over here on the right, I'm going to choose form. And then it populates 3 choices here. And if you are going to have more than 3 choices or less than 3 choices, you just add that over here on the form fields, more or less fields. But this is fine for what I need. So I'm just going to put first name, last name, and email. And then I'm just going to click preview survey to see what it looks like. So that will give you a quick view of what to write. I should have put in this, fill out the formula or something here where this says click to write test question. Okay. Next thing I want to look at is creating polls. So I'm going to go over here to the polls tab and then create poll. Then you're going to give your poll a name and then whatever you want to poll them about. And whatever choices, you just put the choices on a separate line. By default, the button is submit. If you want to have an OK or anything else, you can put that in there. You can allow for single or multiple answers. And then you're going to click Save Changes. And then if you want to add this poll to the website or a blog, you just click this button up here, and it gives you the text to insert into your web page or your blog. And also down here at the bottom, if you just wanted the URL, it gives you that URL right there that you could paste into an email or wherever you wanted to send that. Okay. And then when your results start coming in, there's a results link, and you can click on that and you can see what your poll looks like. So this one is one I did previously. I'll just go ahead and click on that. And you can see my results. All right. One last thing to point out is that Qualtrics University is a really good site. If you have any questions about Qualtrics, need help with anything, you can come and search for it. You can attend live training webinars, and then they have just videos you can watch. So that's a place to check out if you have questions. So at this time, I'm going to turn this back over to Shelley, who will conduct our Q&A session.
Okay, thanks, Kathy. So I haven't seen any chat questions come in so far. So if anyone has any questions, now is the time to go ahead and either unmute your microphone or go ahead and send it in through the chat feature. And I guess maybe while everyone is thinking, one question that I thought of, could either Rebecca or Kathy, would you tell us a couple unique ways that Qualtrics is being used on campus already?
I'll give you a couple. One is it's being used for training. So you can go in and look at examples, or you can call us and we'll show you examples of how Qualtrics is being used for training across campus, and it integrates into HRIS self-service. That's one. Another is the Office of Assessment is using it, and they are, especially for seniors, understanding aspects of our students, but they're using it in a heavy-duty way for assessing our students at the end of their years here.
Excellent. Okay, I haven't seen any questions come in over the chat yet, but one just came in. Is this for anonymous surveys only?
Can be both. So you can use Qualtrics for anonymous surveys. You can also use it for knowing who the respondents are. And the way you know the respondents is by creating that panel that I showed you via the email survey component.
I know you already talked about setting the duration of your survey, how long it's out there for people to answer, but do you want to talk about the size of files that you might upload to it, or even the size or how many questions you have in each survey, if there's a limit?
So I don't know, maybe Shalyn might chime in if there's an option for the size of the survey. I do know the upload size is 16 megs. And I'm not sure about the number of questions in a survey. We've never come up against that. You have to think about the purpose of your research or the purpose of your survey. And you don't want to ask too many questions because definitely survey fatigue will happen. I would like to share that one of the things we get the most questions about are the number of surveys that any one user can create and the number of email responses that can go out. And by next week, we're going to change that, and individuals will be able to create unlimited surveys and allow up to 10,000 outgoing emails. So that will change beginning of next week for all K-Staters who are using Qualtrics.
Excellent. Any other questions that we have? In the future, if there are questions that come up that people are just not thinking about, who should they direct those questions to?
They can email me. I'm Raghu, R-A-G-O-U at ksu.edu, or they can put in a ServiceNow ticket and we'll answer it that way. Kathy and I are going to offer a basic Qualtrics face-to-face session in April, so look for it. It's April 14th. And then Shalyn is going to offer an advanced Qualtrics session on March 18th from 1:30 to 3 in Hill 301. So look for that information in K-State today.
Excellent. Okay, well, I think before we wrap up, I want to talk about a few notes about the upcoming weeks. Due to spring break, we will not have a Tech Tips talk next week. Let me go ahead and share my screen again so you can see the two that we do have scheduled. On March 23rd, we will be talking about Yammer, and on March 30th, this is pretty exciting, President Kirk Schultz will be talking about Twitter. So hopefully we'll have a lot of people on there who can watch that presentation. Once again, if you've missed today or you just want to go back and look at some of the other tech tips that we've already had, we do post our recordings here. So there's one from the media site video that we did. The website is k-state.edu/its/tech-tips-live. And if anyone has any requests for future topics, please go ahead and send those in. Other than that, I hope everyone has a great day and hope to see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone.